Thank you guys so much for being here with us today. I am here with two legends in sports, but from very different kind of sides of the industry. So, Jahm and JuJu, I want to ask you guys both, coming from a multi-decade-long investor and owner in this industry, JuJu as one of the top WNBA, almost, as one of the top NCAA players right now and one of the top NIL athletes. What do you both see as the biggest business opportunity for yourselves personally at this moment in time? Jahm, do you want to start?
Would you like?
You can go.
Okay. If I could take a step back and talk about sports in general. In a world where you can watch any content on any device at any time, anywhere in the world, the only content that doesn't shift, sports. It's the only appointment viewing there is on media, on any kind of sort of media, whether it's streaming, whether it's linear or otherwise. That's the main reason why sports in totality and media rights continue to go up, because that's the only way that sponsors and advertisers can reach eyeballs. You can't do it on regular TV and movies, etc., because they all time shift. So in context of the totality of sports, my view, valuations are going to continue to go up. Why is that the case? Because of globalization. Each of these are brands globally, and they can promote themselves globally and online. Two, they're scarce, few and far between. There are 30 NBA teams, etc. And by far the most important determining variable of sports valuation parameters is historically sports content has been sold through wholesalers that have resold those rights to retailers. So think of ESPN or TNT as the wholesaler, and think of your local cable provider as your retailer. So media rights historically for sports have been sold to a wholesaler who effectively doubles the price. At each stage of process of distribution, they double the price, no differently than your shirt. Your $100 shirt probably cost the manufacturer no more than $10 to $12. Probably the wholesaler took it to 25, the retailer took it to 50, and now is selling it to 100. So what's happening is that now sports media rights holders are selling those rights directly to a retailer like Amazon, Apple. So instead of getting 20 to 25% of the value chain, they're getting 50%. Fast forward to the future, they can go directly to the consumer. So that effectively these media rights owners are going to get 80, 90, 95% of the value chain. So people always ask me, why do sports values keep going up? Those are the reasons why they keep going up. That's the reason why we are professional sports investors and continue to be engaged in it.
I think that's a great point. There are so many parts you mentioned there, the globalization, how social media and other forms of media are changing things, the financial aspects of it. JuJu, from your perspective, where do you see the biggest opportunities as a up-and-coming athlete?
Yeah, as an athlete, I think there's so many opportunities. I think the biggest one is just being able to have control of your platform and really use social media to tell your story and be authentic to yourself. I think that's the most important to me, and I know I share that amongst some of my peers as well.
Yeah, 100%. Jahm, you've mentioned before that as a sports team owner, you're really just kind of the steward for the real owners, which are the fans, the communities that come to these sports games or sporting events. What does your relationship with the fans look like right now, and how does that impact the ways that you're shaping strategy or growth, or just thinking about the future of these industries?
I think about sports also no differently than what we just discussed in the context of the normal human experience and product and market fit. I'm a firm believer that if you add one customer in any business in time, that business will be profitable and valuable. Why is that? You have to be a true value add to the customer. The customer for us is the fan, is the viewer, the individual. And we have to be in a position to provide the value add in the form of entertainment, in the form of interest, excitement, fandom. So they are the reason why sports, and frankly any other business, ends up becoming profitable and or financially feasible. So my sports and sports teams are truly owned by the communities in which they play. Phoenix will be here for centuries, we hope. I won't be, I hope. Therefore, I'm a temporary steward of the Phoenix Suns, as an example, and maybe a financial beneficiary of it. But at the end of the day, we are not owners and investors. We are truly temporary stewards of these franchises on behalf of the communities in which they play.
JuJu, how does this impact you? Because as the rise of women's basketball specifically has had like just such a surge the last couple of years, you mentioned there that social media is a way for you to like connect with your fans, but how else does it impact like how you're shaping your personal brand, yourself on the court, yourself in commercials and other, kind of projects that you're working on? How are you engaging with fans differently now?
Yeah, I mean, I think my process and like my relationship with fans has kind of always been the same. I think naturally I'm more introverted, so I kind of pick and choose what I share. But yeah, I think there's pros and cons to social media for sure, but I think just maintaining like the right balance and doing what feels authentic and comfortable for you.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit before we got on stage about how the financial opportunities that especially young athletes are having right now with things like NIL, even the W's new CBA, like it's really changing the game in terms of how you guys as players are, kind of pushing this game forward. How are, with like the growth of, the fandoms and all these other opportunities that come with it, how is that shaping how you think about your career trajectory, whether that's like years of eligibility or deciding which different partnerships you want to prioritize? How is the kind of financial power that these fans are bringing impacting your guys' thoughts on the future?
Yeah, for sure. To be honest, I haven't given much thought yet. I'm kind of staying present with where I am at SC right now. But, I mean, credit to the players who negotiated the CBA. I mean, it's been a long time coming. And it's really exciting to see, like, all the change. Yeah, so I'm excited for when that is, like, the next step. And yeah, I'll be excited to go into that whole process.
Yeah, and have some more like either authority or power as the athletes, I think
For sure.
it's coming down to. Jahm, as you have gone through your career, it's not just basketball that you've been a part of, but many different industries, many different kind of sectors of sports, X Games, F1, NBA, of course. How are you thinking about scaling these different markets without either moving too fast? And I think this is a conversation that's being had within women's sports a lot, is like, are we diluting a fan base? Are we moving faster than we can like meet expectations? How do you approach scaling these markets at the right pace?
And as an investor, I think about long-term value creation. 10, 20-year timeframes. And when you think about 10, 20-year timeframes, then you think about ensuring that you do the right thing on behalf of the fans and on behalf of your customers really on a day in and day out basis, as opposed to worrying about whether you're going to exit in 3 years. When you think about 10, 20 years, then growth and expansion ends up becoming feasible. When I want to learn a language, I'm not going to say I'm going to learn a language in 1 month. I'm going to say I'm giving myself 1 year. If I learn 10 words a day in 1 year, I'll know 3,560 words. So in the same approach of fandom, when we acquired X Games from Disney, ESPN, X Games was just a brand for Disney. It was just a filler for their linear channel. We thought of it as being a league. We are acquiring a league, a 30-year-old league that does not have teams. It does not have, has not developed its fandom over a longer period of time. So 3.5 years ago, we spent 2 years and significant amount of investment, tens of millions of dollars, in order to get it to a place where we can actually turn it into a league, meaning that going from 1 competition a year to 3 competitions to 7 to 10 competitions a year, actually creating teams around individuals. So we have teams that have been developed over the past 3 years, and I'm happy to say that we've actually closed on 3 teams within X Games, and we've developed for the summer league that we have this summer. We have 3 different competitions, and we have a Tokyo team, summer team, New York summer team, a Sao Paulo summer team, and a Los Angeles summer team. These are the first 4 teams that are competing against each other. The point I was making is that we didn't try to establish it the first 6 months that we acquired it. It's taken us 3.5 years to get to where we are, and our objective is over the next 10 years, we're going to have 10 different competitions for each of summer and winter league globally, similar to F1, and have 10 different teams competing against each other for prize money at the end of the season. So our F1 experience for the past 5 years helped us think through the process of how do you develop a league from scratch.
And then, JuJu, as you're building your personal brand with this, you know, you probably have to think about these things in similar ways. Of like, there are so many opportunities coming in. How do I continue to diversify without, you know, losing sight of what really matters, which is the basketball? Was there a moment for you, a project you worked on, a campaign that you feel like really indicated to you, like, this is now a business that I'm a part of alongside me playing this sport?
Yeah, for sure. I can't think of a specific moment, but as far as like NIL, it's been such a prominent part of my life since high school, essentially. So I think I've kind of gotten used to everything that comes with basketball, and just very grateful that I'm in this space where I'm able to, you know, put myself in a position to live comfortably and do different things. So yeah, it's definitely been a blessing, and although it is hard to kind of find that balance, it's, you know, it's also a part of the process. So yeah.
Especially coming at it from such a young age, like you said, since high school, you were a top prospect. People were starting to pay attention to you, not just on the court, but off as well. Did the business side come as naturally? Was this something you had to like hone your skills in, or what has that journey looked like?
Yeah, it took a minute to get used to. Just like I said, naturally, I think I'm kind of introverted, and you know, I just really love basketball. So it's like, okay, let me just lock in on the gym and stuff. So it definitely took like a couple years to get used to, and then now it's like second nature. But I think for me, my priority is always basketball. So yeah.
With that being the case, then, what makes an opportunity that comes through your inbox or through your door like a yes for you? Is there like a set of standards or, you know, a bucket list that you have of like, yeah, these are the brands I want to work with, these are the types of campaigns I want to work on?
Yeah, I mean, gratefully, I have my agency, Clutch. They help me with everything and kind of help me filter the process. And by the time it gets to me, it's like in a group chat, and I'm like, yes or no. But I think for me, I kind of just go with my gut all the time, or like what I'm feeling, and then what I think and what Clutch thinks is a good opportunity for me. So yeah, that's kind of my process.
Yeah, team effort there.
Yeah.
I want to talk to both of you guys about investing, because you have both, you know, invested in sports in different ways. Jahm, for you, though, it's not just sports that are part of your portfolio. You have, you know, companies across many industries, media, entertainment, consumer products that you've invested in, that you've been a part of. What indicates to you that something is worth investing in, has growth potential?
How much time do you have?
About 4 minutes.
The very first thing, there are certain, it's a lot easier to say what is the industries we won't invest in. We won't invest in businesses in which I can't tell my kids with a straight face how we make money. We won't invest in any business that we're not truly, completely, absolutely value add to the customer. And you know, this is not a value judgment with regard to anything. For example, we won't invest in coal. We just don't think that coal is, I can't tell with a straight face to my kids that, you know, we're doing best thing for the world in coal, or for that matter, in certain types of businesses that are sold as opposed to bought. We ensure that the kind of diligence that we do on the product and the services that we provide in the companies in which we invest is always start with the user, always start with the individual who is actually using the product and the service and surveying them to understand if, in fact, we are a true value add to their life, their family, their business, what have you. And the valuation and pricing associated with that has to be just because we may think about, hey, we can charge 10 times the amount, that's not a customer that will stay with us forever. We want to be able to charge the right amount in order to give us the right amount of profitability to make it sustainable over a 10 or 20-year time frame. Those are considerations that we think about, and by far the most important determining variable as an investor is who do you partner with? Who is the CEO? So I can tell you that you cannot allow the arrogance of too much information get in the way of the humility of lack of wisdom. Let me say that again. Just because we have information, that doesn't mean we're well-versed in making the right decision. The circumstances change completely tomorrow. We know about it 4 weeks ago. There was no war, price of oil, things changed just like that. We have to understand that these things happen. We have to be prepared for them. And as long as you do the right thing for your customers and your employees, the value creation and investment return takes care of itself.
JuJu, you too have gotten into investing early on. You were the first NCAA athlete to invest in pro women's sports leagues with Unrivaled and also an NWSL team. How did those deals come about, and why were you the right fit, but also why were they the right fit for you?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm just now starting my investment journey, so it's been cool to kind of be on the other side of things as an athlete. Yeah, I mean, it was just a cool opportunity that kind of came up. I mean, I was presented with it, and I definitely say yes because it's such a great opportunity to be able to invest in something that I'm passionate about. So yeah, it was really cool.
How are you thinking about, because I know that with those deals and these conversations, having equity in the partnerships was a big driving factor for you. How are you thinking about things like equity versus other sorts of brand deals or campaigns that a lot of athletes can be a part of? What are you prioritizing moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. I think my priority moving forward as far as like brand deals and stuff, I think building long-term partnerships, not just like one-off things. And like you said, like looking into equity and things like that to continue to set myself up for the future. So yeah.
Yeah, that long-term, mindset that Jahm was mentioning there. With just a couple seconds left, I want to ask you both one final question. What is either like an experience or a mindset that you feel like the athletes have that you feel like all young founders should know, to continue building their careers? And then, Jahm, from your perspective, a business strategy that you think all these young founders should know from the audience?
I mean, I guess just like resilience. I mean, I think that's just a great quality to have in any field. I think for me as an athlete, that's definitely gotten me through a lot of tough times. Just staying resilient and staying true to yourself.
Jahm, how about you? A business strategy?
I love it. Most people hate uncertainty. Very small percentage of the population tolerate it. I think one of the reasons I am where I am is because I embraced it. I love uncertainty. We're uncertain life anyway. I can walk out of here and get hit by a car. My life is uncertain already. So why not engage in learning and understanding and try to just learn as much as you can and just jump in with 2 feet. Life is uncertain already, so be consciously pursue opportunities that you're not sure about and move forward because you will figure it out.
I love that. Embrace uncertainty and then be resilient no matter what comes your way. Thank you both so much for joining me today. Thank you guys for listening in.
Thank you.
Thank you.